everyone. Connecting Dots 2 here. We are Sunday, June 26th, and another video today. That's right. That'll be my second one in a row here. We're on a hot streak. So a little while ago here, uploaded some information on vaccines. If you're interested in that one, there's a great clip near the very end. The rest of it is I was working on the censorship, and although there are some good videos and good links in the beginning, but a good part of it has to do with my own personal encounter with, oddly enough, the same person who I present at the very end of the video, the same doctor, neurologist, is the same person who I was censored back in the day, back in 2009 in the forum when I was trying to share this information on the dangers of vaccines. Now, in this latest video, I'm not sure if you saw that 3 days ago, we're going right back at Kevin. And this time here, you know, he's got a friend, a hippie with a gun. Yeah, imagine that. Now, can you catch the implication on that one? Because many of you have already caught on to this. Is yes, there's a problem with radiation. There's a problem with nuclear plants not running on thorium. These are facts that or topics that he doesn't want to discuss. And one of the things that many of you have said is you believe that Kevin's being paid by the nuclear industry himself to come out here and come across as the nuclear activists are a bunch of wackos, right? That this is an underlying theme. I've seen this time and time again in my comments. So yes, there's no doubt he is a wacko. Now, do you understand how the wacko is now connected up with a hippie with a gun, and now that plays that other side of it, right? Or the peaceful hippie and with a gun. Anyways, if not, well, you'll soon find out that the hippie with a gun is just as much of a scammer as Kevin here. Okay, there's no doubt about it. He's recruited some scamming friends. So one of the big things that I'm all about is testing, right? This is why I speak about this gamma spectrometer, why I'm raising funds for a gamma spectrometer, because I happen to live here right on the West Coast. Now, another thing I want to mention here about Kevin Blanch's latest, this video that I made is someone had left a comment saying that my nurse friend couldn't figure out that this guy would be faking because she only looked at him for a few seconds. I'm like, yeah, I said about 10 seconds, may have been 20 seconds. It wasn't very long. She looked at him very briefly. And one of the key points I said in that video was, please get yourself informed on the signs and symptoms of acute leukemia, what he has, the AML, okay? Because Kevin came out of nowhere saying that he had this Fukushima. By the way, if you're stupid enough to believe that it was Fukushima radiation that hit him in Colorado and he got AML immediately, okay, fine. You want to go with that one? I'll play along with you. Let's pretend he got it from Fukushima radiation, which anyone with common sense would know, no, it wouldn't be right away, especially not a guy his age, okay? That's why I made a point of making videos about how it was the infant mortality death rate. That's what it was, because the younger you are, the more your DNA cells are splitting, and while they're in that split second of splitting, if they happen to be hit by radiation, there's a good chance that cell may be mutated, which turns out to give you complications in life. And when you're a child, that turns out to often ends up killing you because you've got so many of those cells that have been mutated. Long story short, I made a point. Please go check out the symptoms, because we watched them come out of nowhere claiming to have had AML, and then we watched video after video, and I've said this, we never heard him any of this stuff. He was not lethargy or fatigue. None of those symptoms ever showed up. Shortness of breath, I said that before. He could shout just as much back in 2011 as he does nowadays. Nothing's changed. Apart from the short little clip there where I showed you, I didn't show you the clip where he was sitting in the hospital bed, but apart from that one time, and that is the shot, by the way, of the hospital room that we got to see him in. And like I said in the video there, that was just where you're going in for a checkup. It's not where he was resting and recovering from his chemotherapy. We have none of those videos, none at all. We've got the one video where he was in the hospital, and that's the one you're looking at right there. And he did not pale, nothing wrong with him, okay? This is one of the big things we notice. No shortness of breath, no pale skin, never complained of frequent infections, none of the easy bruising, None of this stuff. None. Zero symptoms. Okay? So if you're stupid enough to believe that he got it from Fukushima radiation, well, at least look up the symptoms and then go back in his past videos from 2011 and you show me how can a guy who's claiming to have had AML survived it, and then he traveled up and down the coastline for the following 3 years from Mexico to California. Listen up here. This is where I made a point even in that last video that, he's at that San Onofre meeting and he's going off on them and telling them how him and his dad, they all got radiation and his best friend got a radiation and he's full of AML leukemia right now. That's what he's speaking about right now. He says, I'm full of AML leukemia and I've traveled up and down the entire coastline from Mexico all over to California. People knew he was full of shit. You cannot do that when you're suffering from AML. Get real, please. Please get real. Anyways, long story short, in his latest fiasco, he's recruited someone else and they're actually down here at Rockaway Beach in Oregon. Let me back up a little bit just to show you how close this is from where I am, where I happen to be located. So there's Portland, Oregon. Let's just back up a little further, and there I am right there, the city of Victoria. So I've mentioned before, the Strait of Juan de Fuca here is known around the world for its ebb and flow tide. This is what Jeff Rentz was promoting with Dana Durnford, telling everyone that the Fukushima radiation off the west coast, because of this ebb and flow tide, had killed everything all the way up, because Dana had done the original trek here of 200 kilometers of the coast. Again, never took a single test, nothing at all. Came back and told everyone radiation had killed everything. It was all naked. He didn't see a single bird for 9 days along the Sunshine Coast. I mean, at that point there, that's where I knew you're an absolute liar. Absolute liar. The West Coast is littered with birds all over the place. Okay, are there dead birds? Yeah, you run into the odd dead bird, but like I said, when there's a bunch of live birds, there's got to be the odd dead one. Long story short, it's littered with full of birds. And then he went on to tell people that all the flies that he saw along that 200 kilometer stretch for 9 days would fit in one glass. All the seaweed at all the different beaches all along that 200 kilometer coastline would fit in the back of one pickup truck. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable, the stories that came out of his mouth. So with this ebb and flow tide, that's where I said, guys, I'll go right down to my beach, okay, right here in the city of Victoria, right on this coastline. I'll go down to one itty bitty teeny weeny, yeah, it is very small beach. Did you go see the video? Well, you may want to go check it out, okay, just so you can see all the life that was just there. And I'm not done yet either. I'm going much further. As I said, I'm raising funds for those of you who want to help me out. It'd be great if you want to help me out. I'm raising for funds because I actually want to go up to Dana's beach on his coastline where he began this 200-day trek. So I went down here to Dallas Road. Okay, that little beach right there. I'm not sure if you saw the video, but it's uploaded here. What was it, a couple of days ago? Was it last week? I can't remember. You'd have to go back and check here. Here it is right here. Fukushima, Dana Durnford, Kevin Blanche, Pacific Ocean Genocide. Okay, that's the one right there. Sorry, that was a month ago. Anyhow, long story short, went down to that beach, and I found so many sea creatures just there, and I'm not done. Like I said, my plan here is to go over to Dana's beach right over in Powell River and get some footage right there along his coastline, as well as I have 2 Geiger counters, high-end Geiger counters, especially one of them, it's used at a nuclear plant. So I'll go down there and we'll do some live radiation testing, because that's the other thing I'm about to share with you is another scammer out here on YouTube who's telling everyone that the radiation's going crazy, just like Dane has been telling people. He's sitting here in Powell River with radiation going up to 160 counts per minute, 175, 182, 200 counts per minute, yet the fool stays there in Powell River. It's because it's not really 200 counts per minute. And by the way, the alert level is 100 counts per minute. So you can understand if somebody's making claims showing everyone, look at every day, day in, day out, it's always 150 to 200. Would you not say to the poor fool, do you not think maybe it's time for you to leave? Because he's actually come out and told people that the radiation is so high in his hometown that it's killing the dogs. It's killed his dog. His dog is dead. Well, his dog died for other reasons, but whatever. People are gullible enough to believe that it's Fukushima radiation. So if it is, folks, do you not think Dana should move? Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyways, we'll go down there with my own 2 Geiger counters and we'll get you some real reading. Now, back to the beginning of the story here, back at Rockaway Beach, where there's thousands of dead crabs all over the place. Oh, it's not a good sight, no doubt about it. But I don't know if there's thousands, but yeah, there's some dead crabs there. But hey, getting back to scientists and all the stories that I've been covering on Fukushima since 2011, have I not mentioned time and time again that every single time we had the government test, it turns out they couldn't find a single trace of Fukushima radiation in any of the sea fish they ever tested. They've just finally admitted that they found some traces of radiation off the west coast in our water. It's diluted, of course, but because the ocean, because fish bioaccumulate toxins and radiation, that's where the testing has to go. And unfortunately, every time that we had the government on the Canadian and the American side, they could never find anything. However, I reported 4 or 5 times independent testing on sea, more specifically salmon, west coast salmon. And what did they find? Yes, small traces of Fukushima radiation. And that's the key note here I'm going to keep stressing, is that we need independent testing. Testing, independent. Those 2 words together is the key thing that we need as far as Fukushima. Anyone can grab a camera and go show something, a creature on the shoreline, and say, hey, it's dead. It's Fukushima. Well, you don't have any proof, buddy, and that's exactly what is going on here at Rockaway Bay. Yeah, it's Fukushima breaking news. Dead crabs all over Rockaway Beach, and it's radiation. So, like I said, Kevin has recruited a new, hippie with a gun. I wasn't lying. That's the name of his YouTube channel. And yeah, he's hiding himself here. Obviously, he doesn't want people to see who he is. Obviously, he's ashamed that he knows he's scamming. And did I not tell you they all show their little signs? See the little V there? That's the Freemason V for victory. I don't know if you're aware of that, but that's the Queen's little Illuminati motto that they're carried over here. Yeah, decades later, it's still the same V, right? Symbolisms. Anyways, okay, maybe you're not into that. So one of the things I did say is that these people, they're out to make it look like they're real activists, people that do care about the nature. Either we're with a gun or we're swearing, cursing, freakouts like Kevin Blanche. You know, none of us that are stable. And if you know the whole story behind Dana Durnford, how he's been charged with a Section 264 of the Canadian Criminal Act law code here because of calling out for scientists to being hunted down. Do you remember that one? Oh, well, if you don't know those videos, please go watch, okay? Fukushima fraud, Dana Durnford exposed as a debateless coward. And I share some clips in there. Most of it was, I've rehashed this several times here. The best of all is really this one here 2 weeks ago. Fukushima fraud, Dana Durnford death threats exposed. It's 50 minutes, and out of the 50 minutes, there's 15, 20 minutes where you get to hear Dana cursing off, calling for scientists to be hunted down, macheted in the streets. If you see them, you're supposed to punch them in the mouth. He says if he sees them, he'll scalp them on the spot. Unbelievable rhetoric that's been coming out of that disgusting mouth of his. And this ties into what many of you have said. These people are set up on YouTube to make it look like people that are actually do care about nature and welfare of the planet. We're all a bunch of crazy. I don't think so. I don't think so. We're not a bunch of crazy cursing loudmouths asking for people to join up and hunt down the scientists. So now you understand why he's up on that Section 264, which, by the way, he may be actually banned from social media because of this one event, because this is not the first time Dana's had trouble. There was a notice on his record regarding the RCMP. He was considered a threat to the Port Hardy RCMP. So yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. And Kevin Blanche now, someone was asking me, because I was speaking about Jeff Palco being robbed out of his life savings, where Kevin Blanche had told him back in 2011 that Kevin Kevin was an ex-hedge fund manager, which, by the way, if you followed my lead, I said to go check out his website. It's actually called stuccodamage.com. stuccodamage.com. That's right. He was a plasterer for 35 years, according to even his own words right on his website. And what does it say now? He's selling the website because he has what? AML, leukemia. Yeah, the scam doesn't end. But yet, go look at his symptoms. He's traveling all over. No, he's not lethargic. He's not. There's no fatigue. There's no bone pain. There's no fever. There's shortness of breath. Not pale skin. Give me a break. Okay? He's an absolute fraud. So the frauds recruited a new friend, and now they're at Rockaway Beach and are uploading videos, and the crazies with the gun, or the hippie with the gun, showing us, well, not showing much because he's hiding behind his stuff, but whatever. Let's see what he has to share, because, you know, and I can't play the whole clip, unfortunately. You know how it is. These people, there's nothing they'd love more than for me to play. I think you're allowed to play 1 minute of a person's video to make some commentary, so I have to be extremely careful what I do here. All right, so I may play over a minute, but I won't let them, you won't hear all of their voice. I can't. I have to make sure that I do not lose the ability to be able to speak out against the fraud that's taking place. And these guys would jump at the opportunity to do so. As you already know, they did it over at the Silver Gold Man. They ended up having me cut off the air for a full month. Anyways, but again, sticking with the theme, how these guys are dangerous. What does he rant off? I mean, just listen to this. This is exactly the same words that Kevin Blanche was saying.
Scientists are baffled. Mystery disease. Scientists are baffled. They're not real fucking scientists. This is not El Nino. This is a fucking genocidal catastrophe. That's what this is. This is a fucking genocidal catastrophe. Look at that poor crabs. They're all dying. They're all fucking dead. This is fucking sick. Crabs everywhere. Fukushima did this. And scientists are baffled. Mystery disease. Scientists are baffled.
Yeah, scientists are baffled. Mystery disease, but and in fact, he's talking about old news. Okay, I can't believe they're still repeating that. They know what the disease is now. But the best is that he's showing you all these different body parts of the crabs, and he's telling you what? It's Fukushima that did that. Oh, is that right? Yeah. Okay. No. Seriously, you heard it yourself, did you not? No.
Crabs everywhere. Fukushima did this. And scientists are baffled. Mystery disease.
Yeah, that's right. So as you know, it's it's not a mystery disease, and if it was Fukushima, how could we find out? Well, it wouldn't take very long, right? Like I've been saying, it all comes down to testing. You know, that's the reason why I want the gamma spectrometer. See, someone needs to be doing some independent testing, or else you're going to be stuck with these guys. Listen to this.
Radiation. Here we are. More dead crab parts. Dead crabs. Fukushima news. Here we are. Another dead crab. Here's a couple of them. Dead crab.
Yeah, but it's Fukushima. No testing. Like I said, folks, it's important that you stay away from these people, because even by viewing their videos, and I'm speaking specifically about Kevin Blanche, you kind of give them an ads to their program. So unless you're going to go view it and give it a thumbs down, just to stay away from the garbage. You know, in this latest one that he's put up there, and by the way, the reason I'm calling them frauds is because, as I said before, we need testing. Why doesn't he stop and pick up at least one crab? No, seriously, one crab. It only takes at least one crab, though there's two of them right there. Can he not pick up 2 crabs and have them tested for radiation? Now, those of you that are watching this right now, you're saying, no, this probably is. Look at, they're all dead. Well, okay, so they're all dead. So if the Fukushima radiation had made it all the way over from Japan in such high levels of radiation, I mean, it has to be very high when it kills them right there on the spot, and it wipes out the whole clan, right? If it was coming in such high levels, then where are all the other dead sea creatures that ran into this massive high level of radiation out in the Pacific Ocean? Where's all their corpses washing up to some beach? Where are all the dead corpses of all the marine life that encountered this high plume of radiation after it encountered the large group of crabs? I mean, seriously, if it is in such high levels in one big plume washing up and down the coastline, killing off this large group of crabs, because we've been told this is the same thing that happened with the 350 whales, or what, 306, sorry, or 302, whatever. It was over 300, if I'm not mistaken, the seine whales that washed up off the coast of Chile. I was saying to folks, I'm like, if the radiation in the Pacific Ocean was traveling in such one big massive plume, well, there'd be fish washing up left, right, and center, dolphins. I mean, anything that went through this plume would obviously be dead if the crabs are dying from it, right? Well, we'll never know because none of these guys want to do tests. And that's what I've been saying for a long time. Don't be sending Dana Durnford any cash. Don't be sending Hippie with a gun any cash. Sure as hell don't be sending Kevin Blanche any cash. And this is disgusting. When I go see, and I know this is just a make-believe front, there's probably very little of this is real money, okay? And when I'm speaking of this, I'm speaking about his GoFund, because it's about putting up the illusion that people are buying into his bullshit, when in fact the majority of the people that come across his videos are absolutely disgusted just based on the way he speaks. So, you know, he's basically showing you here he's halfway to his goal here, 15,508. By the way, if you're asking how much money he owes Kevin Blanche's son, because as I said before, if you saw that video here I had 3 days ago, I shared with you how Jeff Palco, not only it was a temporary donation, by the way, so I'm used the word donation, but it was actually a lien on his home. He took out a lien on his home for $16,576, and that lien money was supposed to be replaced because Dana was supposed to buy himself a boat. That's the clown up here. I put him in the Gilligan's wheel. Dana was supposed to buy the boat, go out on his Fukushima expedition for life, prove by doing sampling, testing. That's correct. Jeff Palco wasn't that wasted. He may have been drugged up on the morphines from his back injury at work from 8 years previously, but he wasn't messed up enough not to understand that you needed results. You need results. You cannot make claims that this is what's going on and it's being killed by that if you don't even have the results to back it up. And that's why I'm going back to how the government testing was always zero, zilch, zip, nothing in any of the testing, yet every time we had independent tests, we always had some traces of Fukushima found. And I mentioned in that past video that the last test that I recall was from a fish warehouse off the coast of Seattle, where they had gone up to Alaska and had picked up 7 different types of salmon off Alaska coastline. And that's the difference, 7 different type of species. That's all. They only tested 7 fish. Only 7. Out of the 7 tested, 5 of them came back positive for radiation. Only 2 of those 5 where it was traces of Fukushima radiation. And this is again with an independent test. This is why I keep saying we cannot trust our government tests. We can't trust Woods Hole Institute. We can't trust the University of Victoria. We need independent testing. And we sure as hell do not need a hippie with a gun running on the beach somewhere in the middle of Oregon telling you that it's Fukushima that killed everything. And then you have the other scammer, keep up the good work. Yeah, what? Promoting what? That it's Fukushima radiation, but there's no test. Please, people, please. I hope you understand how important this warning. I'm trying to warn you all these frauds here. They will go on all summer long because the El Nino, that red tide, the Pacific blob that I spoke about, I'm not sure if you caught that video, but again, this is an important piece of information that was shared Oh, sorry, right here on the Fukushima Day playlist. That was a month ago. Connecting dots to Fukushima versus the Pacific blob. That's a very important one because, yes, we do have a problem with the ocean heating and the red tide, and that's the mystery disease, by the way, that they're speaking of. Yeah. Well, actually, it's not really, because it is caused by it, but it was a new disease that had not figured out yet, and this is the one that hit the starfish. That's right. And now they believe it's also causing a problem with the sea urchins and vertebrates. Anyways, long story short, what's important is that you do not help out these scammers, because Jeff Palco had lent $15,576 to Dana Durnford, so Dana could do some testing and come back with some results. He never got any results, so he lost his money there, and the rest of his money, real cash, was actually put in the hands of this fraudster, Kevin Blanche. And that's only because Kevin Blanche lied to him and told him he was an ex-hedge fund investor. It's unfortunate, but yeah. So will Kevin give this $15,508 back? Will any of the Fukushima people that make videos on Fukushima call Kevin out how he's lying about his symptoms and he's lying also about his past? I doubt it very much. I'm the only one who speaks about this stuff. The only one who's trying to raise money for a gamma spectrometer and talks or even speaks about the term. Okay, so I'm going to finish up here with the last one. She's a small timer, but in case you're new to Fukushima or you happen to be doing some research, give you a heads up here, Weeping Willow or Weeping Willow for you. It's the same thing here. Oh my God, radiation report, USA only. It's bad, bad, bad and climbing. So unfortunately, she promotes this NETC website, netc.com. I don't know what it stands for, and I don't care. All I know is this radiation map specifically from this website. It is always the same thing. Okay, the big fear mongering, forget about it. Okay, if you want to actually get some readings on what's taking place, I run this website, connectingdots1.com. You can drop on by here, and if you scroll on down to not the Fukushima playlist, but in the radiation threads here, there's one called Live Radiation Readings. You can click on that, and actually I posted it down below in this video. Also, it's in the Show More tab, okay? Live Radiation Readings. Now, if you don't want to go through my website, because people say, oh, you're going to track us. Okay, fine. Don't even go to my website. I don't care, honestly. I don't make any money. Look, there's no ads. There's nothing. I've been doing it for free since 2009. Okay, so, and I mean on YouTube since 2009. The website's been up since 2012. Here's the website directly where I'm linking up to. It's called the radiationnetwork.com. You can see the address up here on the left-hand side in the address bar, and you can come here directly yourself, and you can see the levels so you don't go into a panic. This website is the first website that has ever opened where they are using data that's collected from independents. That's right. Independence. That netc.com, that's a new website, and I strongly do not trust it because, like I said, I've been doing Fukushima stories since 2011, and that netc website.com, ever since it got sponsored by Rad Chick and the rest of the fraudsters, it's been nonstop promoting super high levels. Well, why is it that the rest of these people who they have their Geiger counters going? In fact, there's when I first started watching this website, as I mentioned, I live up here on the left-hand side in Canada on Vancouver Island. There were no readings here. This is fresh. There is someone that lives obviously close to Dana. I don't know if he watches Dana's videos, but obviously the person bought a Geiger counter and they're showing you it's 24. I can't see the other reading down below, but trust me, if it was orange or red, we'd see a highlight. So obviously it's not that high. And oddly enough, if you look in the middle here, Colorado, see the 68? Well, that's because of the high altitude. So it is always high. Again, the alert level is 100 counts per minute. So you can do what you want. You can go to the NETC if you want, but you'll notice yourself that this website here, the number one, they've been around since the beginning. And I should almost link up another one right now because I don't link it up on my website, but like I said, I've been following this since day one. So I'm going to pull out another link here. New folder. No, hold on a second. Imported. And it's, where is it again? It's Black Cat. Black Cat. So I'll put this one also. I'll link it up down below in my Show More tab. If you want to add these to your collection, these are 2 independent websites that have been running pre-Fukushima. And you can see that's why I don't trust the NATC, because it's new on the scene, and all of a sudden it has way more radiation reading instruments connected up to that fresh website, which coincidentally always seems to have unbelievable alert levels going up left, right, and center. No, seriously, almost every month or 3-4 months, there's something coming out of that website where it's unbelievable. And I don't know what to say. Go check it out for yourself. You'll watch it. You can notice the difference yourself, okay? And yes, some of these have turned off because when Fukushima went down, there was a lot more up here. And it's just not the same. Like the interest has dropped, right? That's why these websites aren't kicking full of readings. Even the radiation network here, when I first started following this, there was a little bit more up here, and there's not. It's pulled back because people realize that the massive plume of radiation has already gone by. If you want to find something now, it's going to be down on the soil, or like I said, specifically in the ocean, as the marine creatures bioaccumulate the radiation. So that's the whole reason why I want to buy a gamma spectrometer. Okay. That's why I'm raising funds for the gamma spectrometer, because I happen to live here right on the West Coast, and I'll be able to test. And I'm buying a mobile unit on top of that. So if you're wondering, how's it going to happen? It's going to be with my camera and a mobile unit. So I'll bring you right down to the beach. I'll bring the camera. You'll be watching me head down to the beach with the gamma spectrometer and the camera, and I do live testing right there. Now, one of the isotopes that I really want to check for is the strontium-90, but unfortunately, that's a test that cost me about $200. So if you'd like to donate, I'd highly appreciate it, because this is a long-term venture, or I should say a longer-term goal. I don't have the funds to put into that. People who know my past, I broke my neck in 3 in late 2011 here, and lost a little bit of money here that I had in my life. So I'm starting off from scratch, and I sure as hell can't afford to spend the gamma spectrometer alone. The one I'm looking at is about an $20,000 unit, might as well say, and I just can't afford to do that right now. So that's why I'm asking you if you can help out. That'd be great. And also, as I mentioned, I'm planning on going to this Debateless Cowards beach, his coastline, and doing some testing, as well as doing some real checking of the beach here. This is what people really like about my videos, is how I, where is that one? Geez, I forgot. Right here. Yes, this one here, where I went down to my shoreline, okay? People really appreciate that, because I didn't even travel like 200 kilometers of beach, and you get to see all the sea life I found right there. So you can imagine, if someone's going to say that they're out in the ocean for 260 days, you're going to tell me that everywhere he went, it was always dead? Of course not. It's called video editing, okay? We're not getting the truth from these scammers. They're just putting their camera down and telling you it's Fukushima radiation, not a single test, okay? Very, very sad. So I'll go to the comments here before I wrap this up. And I got to remember to add this Black Cat. Oh, how come it's not showing here?